is that India offers a unique combination of growth and acceleration.
Aarti Drugs came out with its numbers. If you're looking at the top line growth, there's growth of almost 1.3%. Bottom line grew almost 7%, and margins coming in at close to 16.3% versus 16% last time around. On a year-on-year, it looks muted, but there's been a substantial growth as far as a sequential number is concerned. We're joined by the management. Adish Patil, the CFO of Aarti Drugs, joins us on the show. Good morning, Adish. Thank you so much for speaking to Bloomberg Quint. First of all, if you're looking at the numbers, they look muted over last year, but if you see a quarter-on-quarter number, there seems to be a substantial jump that has come in. What has caused this?
Yes, actually the GST transition affected the sales in the beginning of September quarter due to lack of readiness across the entire value chain in the industry. Means a lot of stockists and the dealers were not registered under GST. That is why the during the early transitioning into the GST phase, it took a little bit time to smoothen out the your logistic part. Because of that, the demand was little lower in say July month, but later on it picked up, and we were able to recover the lost sales. And in this particular quarter, we had very good formulation exports also, because of which the operating margins were quite good, and which can be seen in our PAT growth of around 7.5%.
What about the second half of the year? What can we expect? Can you tell us some numbers in terms of where you expect to have it as far as your revenues, your margins, your EPS or your profit is concerned?
Yes, the effect of GST has gone away. Now everything is back to normal. So it all depends. We hope that the crude prices are also stable. There are few shortages of raw materials though, especially as far as the China is concerned, and China is a big player in this intermediate market, because of which December quarter numbers might be slightly lower, but then the profitability should be very good in December quarter. There should be positive rate variance in the December quarter, but quantity might be a little bit lower. However, March quarter should be really good for us, and we are expecting really good growth in the March quarter for this year.
What's the status of the import alert at the Palghar plant? What's the current status?
Yes, actually we were supposed to send out the invitation request before this board meeting itself, but because of some unforeseen events of the health of our consultants, it got delayed a little bit. So the draft is almost ready for the invitation request, and we are about to send it very soon. So we can expect to send a re-inspection request for FDA in this quarter itself.
No, but what's taken it so long? If you're saying that you have to send the request, that means it took you so long for your plant to get ready. What was so wrong in your plant that it took so many years to get ready?
So basically we got the import alert in March 15. So after that we had to do a lot of changes, and especially we started from the ground level itself, doing a lot of automation to reduce the number of points as far as data integrity is concerned. And frankly speaking, we had inspection in November 16 by EDQM, by the European authorities for the same plant. And we were able to successfully clear that. But it is mainly to do with the documentation work, means all the queries which the USFDA had submitted us earlier. The preparation of all this documentation took a little bit more. And frankly speaking, the consultants also are very, skeptical about FDA audits. So they want to do pre-inspection audits again and again to make sure that, when the inspection comes, it goes successfully.
Which are the geographies that you're targeting now to target growth?
So means after this import alert, US will be one. US and Canada will be one major region. However, apart from that, we got very good approvals for a lot of products as far as APIs are concerned, and also the finished products are concerned, finished dosages for the European market. So we expect a good growth in Europe market also. And apart from that, in ROW market, Southeast Asian market seems to be opening up. We have seen a lot of growth in that particular market in last 1.5 years for our APIs.
Okay, and my final question is, which are the new products in the pipeline that probably will be launched in the near future?
So we have a lot of intermediates actually, antiviral intermediates and cardiovascular APIs. Apart from that, we got some contract manufacturing offers for highly regulated markets. So these particular contracts might give a lot of impetus to exports in coming couple of years.
Okay. Many thanks for the interview, Adish, and all the best for the quarters going ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome. You are watching Ask BQ on Bloomberg Quint. I am Pradeep Pandya.
Hi everyone, and I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza. Well, this is the show where we address all your stock queries. You can write to us on Twitter, Facebook, or just call us on 022-4540-4141. You can also mail us at askpq@bloombergquint.com with all your financial queries, and we'll try and address as many as possible on the show. Just remember to add the Ask BQ hashtag. Let's get in our two experts of the day then. Raja Venkatraman of Chart Advice and Sandeep Jain of TradeSwift Broking are here to answer all your queries. Welcome to the show, gentlemen, and good afternoon to both of you.
And before we get on with all your queries, let's have a look at what markets are doing. Both Sensex and Nifty are quoting very close to today's low. A story won't be different with mid cap and small cap. If you look at the market breadth, also looks like the last hour selling that we had seen yesterday has again resumed around an hour back, and we are exactly seeing that kind of trend when a large number of stocks are getting sold off. Index has kind of breached the 10,200 mark that traders were watching for the day. If you look at some of the key movers in today's trade, before we move on, Bharti Infratel, where Bharti Airtel, the promoter, has sold 4.5% stake, is one to watch out for. And JP Associates, after yesterday's up move, looks like JP Group stocks are correcting today on news report which suggests that probably promoters won't be allowed to participate in the bids, and there were talks that maybe JP Associate promoters along with JSW Group will bid for their own assets in JP Infra. On the positive side, we have several stocks like Pakrangi, which continues to move up after good numbers and upgrades coming in. Cadila Health, after good numbers, has gained 4.5%. Repco Home has been one of the key performers, but if you look at the day's movement, the stock went up 10-11%, if I remember it correctly, and see it has also corrected from day's high now. So there is profit booking almost, we can say, across the board, except a few stocks which continue to hold on to their gains.
Well, clearly it's turning out to be a weak session of trade, but let's get our viewer queries going. Our first query today comes from Sunil Chel, who has written to us on YouTube. He has 250 shares of Syntex Plastic at 89 rupees. He's a long-term investor and he wants to know what should he do with this. Let me take this question to Sandeep. This is the demerged entity of Syntex Industries, and I guess Syntex Plastic shares are currently quoting below Sunil's buy price. What do you think he should do?
I think he should hold on to it. Somehow I feel that, the company has superb product line, and I think in the long run, he will certainly achieve the targets of his wish. I think right now it's trading at somewhere around 78, 79, and his buying price is 89. So he has to hold on for some time, say 3 to 4 quarters he has to hold on. But somehow I feel that, the company will certainly do well in the long run.
Okay, in the long run it will do well, but you have to wait. The stock corrected after the first quarterly number they announced post the relisting or post the demerger, and it remains more or less subdued even now. We are probably waiting for further quarterly numbers, and then market will make up the mind. So you have to wait. You have to wait for a few quarters. That's the recommendation coming from Sandeep, although he likes the stock. We are getting lots of your queries on Facebook and Twitter, so let's look at what Sharan Shetty has written on Facebook. Sharan wants a view on Specialty Restaurant. He's a long-term investor, and he has around 2 years time horizon. Specialty Restaurant, Sandeep, what's your view on this one?
Somehow it's a beneficiary of the GST measure which came last week, and But still, I feel that this particular stock is a bit expensive in terms of valuations, and somehow the competition from the organized and unorganized segment is huge and very stiff also. And I think one should not be invested in this particular stock for a longer time. Somehow the company has some good brands also, 3-4 brands in its stable, but still I don't have any conviction in buying the stock for a long term. And one should, if someone has already hit, then he can hold on, and somewhere, if he should encash the opportunity of the measure which was in favor of this company.
So you can enjoy sweets from Sweet Bengal, but maybe buying into this stock is not that good an idea.
Well, I don't know, but the stock's doing pretty well today. It's up almost 8%. It's also one of the beneficiary of the slash in the GST rate that we've seen for the restaurant space, from 28% to almost 5% now. But let's take another query which is coming on Facebook. Anirudh Gehlot has written to us. He's bought 30 shares of GICRE at a price of 829.5 rupees. He has a 1-week view. He wants to know what should he do. Raja, I'll come to you since this is a 1-week view question. 829, I think currently it's below the buy price, 821. Do you think he should hold on at least till he gets his buy price?
Yeah, looking at the overall trend, after a spate of decline over the last few weeks, it has shown a good revival at the start of November. So one should look to hold on, as the trend looks to be reversing, and you could actually end up with some profits. So on the upside, at least till the region of 880 looks a possible target, and you could keep the nearest low around 790 as the stop loss, and look to hold on.
790 is actually your stop loss level here for GICRE, and I don't really understand how could you trade a stock for a week which is kind of recently listed. There is not enough history for a trader really to work with. But well, if that is the idea you have, you can trade with the levels that Raja has just mentioned. Let's move on, and Ajinkya Gaidhani, if I'm reading the name correctly, he wants a view on Sun Pharma. Well, I think yesterday we had an exclusive story that US FDA is conducting an inspection on one of their key plants, Sun Pharma. Sandeep, what's your view on this stock?
I feel it has bottomed out somewhere, Pradeep, and fine, the US FDA negative news is there, but still I feel that it has already bear the brunt in the past also, and it has corrected very sharply also, and somewhere it is taking support, and now I think one should do some bottom fishing also. In the recent past, somewhat it has gone up, but then one should buy on declines, and if someone is willing to buy, he can start in a staggered way, and somewhere one should hold on to it for a longer term. At least 3 to 4 quarters one has to give, and I feel that pharma can be a good contrarian bet for these risky levels of market.
Raja, would you concur at current levels one can look to buy a Sun Pharma?
Actually, we are having a negative view on the pharma sector as a whole.
All right.
So
Okay.
I don't want to.
No worries. We'll move on and take our next query, which comes from Pabani Shankar Bahira. That's one of our regular viewers. He wants views on Goa Carbon. Well, this is a stock which has given over 8 times return on a YTD basis. It's trading above the mark of 1,000, almost up 5%. I don't know if that's the circuit limit for Goa Carbon. Sandeep, any view here at these elevated levels? If somebody is holding, should they book profits, or would you recommend buying at these levels?
I won't recommend a fresh buy, but still one can hold on to these stocks because they have been in flavor, HEG and Goa Carbon, and there is one more stock called Panasonic Carbon also. That's a fantastic company. So, and it has corrected also in the same somewhere similar products only. So I think Panasonic Carbon can be a good buy, but Goa Carbon he can hold on to it certainly.
Okay, so you can hold on to Goa Carbon. That's the call coming in for you here. Well, we have more queries coming in, and on Twitter, Hargauri Prasad has written to us. He has bought 300 shares of V2 Retail at 500 with a long-term view. V2 Retail with a long-term view, Sandeep, what do you say?
Somehow it's a good company. In fact, the way DMart got listed, and after that the whole retail sector is somehow in flavor, and somehow things are also getting better with these retail companies also, because in the near past, they were having they are bearing the brunt because of the online popularity, but still, these companies are now being, approached by the online companies only. So I think V2 Retail can also be approached by one of the bigger brands of the online world. So somehow, and the company's management is very good, and still, and the results were also good, I think, and I think he can hold on to it. And if someone has to buy it afresh, so one should buy on declines rather than, buying, because I'm a bit skeptic about the levels of the markets, because somehow markets have started correcting due to profit booking and some geopolitical tensions, crude oil and all these issues are there. So fresh buying in small cap stocks should be at least delayed by some time.
Okay, so one can look to buy V2 Retail, but at lower levels. That's the advice coming in from Sandeep. Let's take our next query. Ashish Kubani's bought 1,600 shares of Sun Pharma at 547. He has a short-term view. I think we've already discussed Sun Pharma. Sandeep is of the opinion that one can look to accumulate as he feels that the stock is bottom out. And Raja, you are totally negative on the pharma space. But if I were to ask you, he's holding 547. What should he do? Sell?
You should at least book part profits because it's rallying.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Sun Pharma. Let me take Raghavendra query. He wants to know what are the levels at which he can enter for stocks like Vedanta and Hutco. Raja, what do you think Vedanta and Hutco can be entered at these levels?
Actually, the metal industry is undergoing some brief correction now. So it's better that he waits for some time on Vedanta and looks for a pullback to initiate a buy.
And what about Hutco?
Hutco, he can avoid it for now.
Okay, so that's the advice coming in. You can avoid Hutco at these levels. Well, so Sumit has also written to us on Twitter. He's asking which small cap stock can he invest in. Sandeep, which are the stocks that you feel are best placed in terms of risk and reward at current levels that one can park their money in the broader market space?
I feel, one can invest in a stock called RCF. Somehow I have been bullish on this stock, and because of the potential of the land bank it holds. And the thing is, it has corrected also from 105-6 levels to the levels of, I think, around 87, 88. And the OFS came at around 75, 76. And it had a brilliant response, it received a brilliant response. So I feel that, at these levels, the risk reward ratios are very good. And the way November 1st, the government has already started DBT of the fertilizer subsidy. So direct benefit transfer of the fertilizer subsidy. So these companies will be big beneficiaries in the longer run. And I feel one can really buy at these levels also. And if it goes down without any worry, one should accumulate at those levels also.
Okay, so that's the call coming in. RCF is a stock that Sandeep likes and he is recommending it. Jaya Prasad Netha, he's holding Coffee Day. He hasn't mentioned his levels, at what price he has bought and what quantity, but he wants a view on Coffee Day Enterprises. This stock has been a bit volatile over last 1 week or so. If you look at it, after a long time, we saw a lot of price volume movement on both sides. If you could pull up that chart and then put that into perspective. Here you go. So a sharp up move towards 250 odd levels, starting at around 210, 215, and then it has corrected now, putting at 225 or so. Sandeep, what's your call on Coffee Day?
Somehow I don't like this stock too again, Pradeep, because maybe it can also be a beneficiary of the GST, but still, I feel at these levels of valuation, again, I won't buy this stock. Somehow I'm bullish on Tata Coffee. Maybe the businesses are different, but still, the coffee word is common. So I think one can buy onto Tata Coffee, and that too also not at these levels. Somehow one should wait for some correction, because market has corrected and these stocks will also correct, and they have already started. Mid caps and small caps have already started correcting very fast. So I feel one should wait and watch. And Coffee Day, somehow I won't suggest to buy at these levels.
Okay, let's take Ajay Mehta's query. He's asking what can be the entry price for Bank of Baroda. The numbers come out today, and ahead of that, let's just pull up and see what the stock of Bank of Baroda is doing. Off day's high, but still sitting with gains of 1.3%. Raja, do you think attractive levels to enter?
Actually, no. The reason being, despite the positive news emerging in the PSB recapitalization, stock has not really caught up. And over the last 5 years, the prices have been consolidating and facing overhang supplies around the 170 levels. So I think that should be taken off, 180 levels. If 180 levels are cleared, then only it's a good price to buy into. Until then, it's an avoid.
Okay, so wait for a breakout. That's the call on Bob. Jay Prakash JP has written to us. He wants a view on Quick Heal. Sandeep, I think numbers were good. What do you say?
Yeah, the numbers were good, but somehow it's a fancied stock also, and somehow a unique idea also, because there are no I think there are no listed peers to this company, and a renowned investor has also invested in it. So somehow it has been in flavor. So I think one can hold on to it, but rather than buying at these levels, one can hold on to it. That's my suggestion.
Okay, one can hold on to Quick Heal. The counter is up today as well after stellar gains that it registered post its earnings yesterday. Harshvardhan has written to us. He's asking, what is the best stock to buy in power and energy sector? Anything that you're tracking in this space, Raja?
No.
All right, I'll take this to Sandeep. Sandeep, anything in the power and energy sector that you like?
In power and energy, somehow I feel that NTPC can be a good buy at these levels. Risk-reward ratios are also very good, and Reliance Industries one can look at in energy sector, because somehow I feel that it's a good story of energy as well as telecom also, and the Jio numbers were also good in the quarterly results. So I feel, one can and then the stock has also corrected from the higher levels. So at these levels, somehow I think it will find support and it can go up also, and one can buy it for immediate gains also.
Sadbhav Infra is the next stock, and Sandeep Joshi wants a view on that. He wants to know whether there's a good time to buy Sadbhav Infra. Sandeep, what's your call?
And I see that, these road companies could not, meet up to the expectations of the investors, and somehow they have really underperformed the markets. And the kind of balance sheets these companies have, certainly they have a big, debt on their companies. So that is one reason, they are not attracting the bigger investors and the quality investors. But still, this is a good quality company. But again, I would recommend to stay away from these companies for the time being. And certainly the government is going to come up with some good measures for this sector, because they have also understood, that this sector is actually reeling under pressure of the huge debts on their balance sheet, and because of the issues they generally face while not completing their projects on time. So somehow I feel one should wait and watch, and if one has to buy, somehow I feel ITNL and Ashoka Buildcon can be a good buy in this sector. And again, HCC and NCC, these stocks generally, give good trading gains, and NCC can be a good bet, but again, to be bought on correction.
Okay, that's the view coming in on the intra space. Let's take a query from YouTube. Sunil Chahal has written to us. He's got 40 shares of Kotak Mahindra Bank, which he's bought at a price of 1,036. He wants to know if he can invest more at these levels, or should he wait for a further correction, Raja? 998 is the current level. He's bought at 1,036. Should he average at these levels or wait out?
Yeah, the trends in Kotak Bank have been staging an upside for quite some time, and now we are witnessing some profit booking at higher levels. So he would be advised to look for a pullback to the region of 900 to average.
Okay, around 900 would be the right level to average. Don't be in a hurry. Wait for some more decline. Sandeep Joshi has written to us on Facebook, and he wants to know about Action Construction. He's holding 1,000 shares, bought at 65 rupees. We were talking about actually the infra companies, we can say it's a related stock, and he is sitting on gains of at least 40 to 50% already. Sandeep, what's your advice? Action Construction, should he buy more, hold on to what he's already owning, or should he sell?
I think he can book profits, Pradeep, because looking at the markets, it has actually outperformed, and today also it has gone up very fast. And but still, I feel it's better to take money which is lying on the which he has made out of this stock, and because the markets might correct, and generally the stocks where the valuations are higher, they will get corrected very fast, and it is already running at very high valuations. But other than this, I don't track this stock very keenly.
Okay, that's the view coming up there. But Rahul Joshi is also written to us on WhatsApp. He wants to invest in Tata Motors. He wants to know if this is the right time to invest in Tata Motors. What's the view here? We did see a bit of correction post the numbers.
Yeah, Tata Motors have been developing new line of vehicles, etc., and trying to pump up their revenue. But if you see, they have been largely dependent on JLR, and the JLR is also running into some issues. So all that combined is not helping Tata Motors. If you look down onto the prices are also struggling to rally. So if you're looking at the auto space, Bajaj Auto would be a better bet from the large cap, and Escorts from the small cap from mid cap is a good bet if you're looking at the auto space as an investment.
Okay, so these are better options if you want really to invest at current levels. Well, there is a query on Mahindra Holidays from Harshvardhan. He wants to know whether this is a good time to buy Mahindra Holidays and Resorts, currently at 336, down by 1% or so. What's your view, Raja?
Mahindra Holidays per se, it's a very slow moving stock, and if he is looking at investing into this counter, he should be actually looking to look at it from a long-term perspective rather than 3-month view. So if he's looking at it from a long-term perspective, then say dips to the region of 310 would be a good opportunity to buy with a stop loss below 280, where he could see an upside to around 450 in the next 6 to 9 months.
Okay, so 310 is what Raja is suggesting could be an attractive level to buy into Mahindra Holidays. Your stop loss can be around those levels of 280. Well, on that note, we'd like to thank both our guests. Thank you very much, Raja and Sandeep, for helping our viewers with all their queries. That's all that we have on this edition of Ask PQ.
But remember, we are just a tweet, post or a call away, so keep your queries coming and we promise to address all of them through our shows. You can also log on to bloombergquint.com, search for #AskBQ and get answers to all the queries that were discussed on the show. Power Lunch is up next. Keep watching Bloomberg Quint Live.